Welcome back to the supplement session. So last two classes we were talking about more deep about robot kinematics. In specific, like we have done with the help of Danavit-Attenborough parameters, and we have seen how to arrange a frame, all those things. So this particular lecture, it is a very short video. We'll be seeing one simple example, and we'll see how each and everything we would be taking forward towards the what you call robot kinematics through the help of Danavit-Attenborough. So in that sense, we will actually go a little forward. So this particular what you call subclass, we are going to see more seen that how to arrange a frame, and then how to obtain DH parameter. Then we will see what is the basic way to find the forward kinematic model, and then how we can get the inverse kinematic model. For taking this particular short session, I have taken a rotary prismatic planar manipulator. So the manipulator look like this. So you can see that this is the one joint vertically it is going to rotate, and this is actually like going towards to and fro. In the sense you take one piston cylinder arrangement. Okay, so you take the piston cylinder arrangement, this piston is actually like hinge. So now this is motorized, and this is also motorized in the sense it can actually like rotate about this axis, and it can actually like translate along this axis. So if you see this would be actually like making in a planar, so where this goes to and fro and this rotates, so it make actually like a very close to a donut as the workspace. If it is actually like 360 degree, then the workspace would be a donut, right? So in the sense where you can realize this can be realized in the plane. So in the sense in the plane you can realize that manipulator in two way. So one way actually like you can realize the Z1 like this, and Z2 like this. Okay, the other configuration where Z1 like this, and you can actually like realize Z2 like this. Okay, so in that sense you can actually like realize this is one, you can say, configuration, and this is another configuration. So why these two are important? Because we can see that if I take this configuration, the x-axis is different, and if you take this axis, the x-axis is different. So what that mean, I can actually like take the plane which is actually like this is a plane containing Z1 and Z2. So obviously the x1 I can choose perpendicular to this, so I am taking here as this. So similarly I can see that the Z2 and there is no Z3, I can actually like make it x2 parallel. So in the sense I can actually like even take little forward, I can take this is actually like my Z0 axis, and this I can extend as x0 axis. In the sense you can see that x1 is parallel to x0 and parallel to x2. The sense these two are actually like parallel each other, and Z0 and Z2 is only 90 degree apart. It is very easy to realize. Whereas if you take this particular configuration, the other configuration, you can see that this is the plane where Z1 and Z2 is consist. So obviously normal to this is your x1. I am taking this is what x1, and you can see this is what x2, and x1 and x2 are parallel, but you cannot actually like take it this way. So I am taking Z0 here, and this is what you can see you call x0 parallel. So in the sense further I have to actually like make the third frame, and then I can actually go again. But in this case you don't really require the third frame, but you want even the third frame, you can actually take Z3 like this and x3 here. But in this case you have to actually like make it Z3 like this, and x3 is like this. So these are the two configurations are possible. So that's what I'm actually like trying to show. This is one configuration where you can see that the active joint I have shown in green. So the Z1 and Z2 are like this. So whereas the configuration 2, the Z1 and Z2 are actually like taken in this way. So in this way you can see that the Z0 actually like I'm taking parallel to Z1 or Z1. Then you can see that the Z3 and Z not I have to arrange it in this way just to make it a little more clarity. And here you can see that the same configuration I am bringing it. So this is what we can actually like see, and you can actually like go little even forward towards our interest. So we'll try to derive our DH parameter. So this is one thing. So I'll just to show it what happened. So this is what your x0, and this is what your z0, and this is your 0 frame. And in order to get this, so this is what your 1 frame, and this is what z1, and this is what your x1, and I'm actually like making it. So this is what your z2, and this is what your x2, and what further I'm doing it, I'm actually like taking this is parallel to z3, and this is parallel to z0, which is z3, and x3 is parallel to x2. So now this is what we have done. So in the sense, you can see this is one active variable and this is another active variable. This I call d2 and this is called theta1. So that's what I've done here. You can see these two are the joint variable. Unfortunately, there is no other variable is involved. Only alpha would be involved. So where alpha would be involved, so alpha 1 minus 0 would be alpha, you can say, sorry, I minus 1. So 1 minus 1 would be 0. That would be, you can see straightforward, that would be 0 in this case. Whereas alpha 1, which is actually like alpha 1 is alpha 2 minus 1, that would be with respect to z, you can say 2 and z1, and you need to see here z1 and z2 as actually like 90 degree, and the rotation is actually like this way, right? In the sense, you can see it is 3 pi by 2. So like that, you can see then the final one where x2 to, you can say x2 is the rotational direction, z2 to z3 is positive, in the sense alpha 2 is actually like, you can see it is actually like pi by 2, right? So that is what the case. So we will actually like move forward. You can see that alpha 1 is actually like 3 pi by 2 and alpha 2 is actually like 90 degree. So how we have seen alpha I minus 1, you have to see with respect to xi minus 1, and xi minus 1 is actually like with respect to zi minus 1 to zi. So where you would be rotating zi minus 1 to zi along or about xi minus 1. This is what the angle, and the ai minus 1 you have to see along xi minus 1, where the frame I minus 1 to I, right? Similarly, the theta I is actually like, you can see this angle is about zi, where you can see xi minus 1 to xi, the angle you are seeing in the realization. So in the sense, you are making parallel xi minus 1 to xi. So similarly, the di is actually like distance along zi, where you are actually like taking, you can say I minus 1 frame to I frame along, you can say zi. So these are the cases. So in the sense, you can see that there is a you can say variable theta 1 that is there, and there is no angle because x2 and x3 are parallel and x1 and x2 are parallel. So in the sense, these two are 0, and you can see that there is no frame difference, you can say distance between 0 to 1. That's why this is also 0 along x, or you can see along y there are actually along z there is no distance. Only thing, the distance between you can say 1 and 2, there is a vertical displacement along z2. That is what you have written here. So this is the configuration 1, and this is another configuration we can see here. So this is actually like what we have realized. So this is z1 and this is actually like your z2. So I am actually like trying to see what I can do. I can take z0 here. So now z1 and z2 are parallel, so I am taking x0 here, and now I can see that z1 and z2 are not parallel, but it is intersecting here, and this is the plane which is actually like coming, this is the plane, so obviously vertically coming outward or inward, that is what x1 direction, so I am taking here. So in order to make it further, I am seeing that the z3 is actually like parallel to, because the end effector point I am trying to make it parallel to z0. So then you can see that z2 and z3 are parallel, non-parallel, and it is 90 degree apart, and this is the plane. So there is a axis supposed to come vertically outward or inward. So I am taking, this is what the axis of x2. So now if I take, this is what the axis and this is what the remaining. So now in order to make consistency, I am taking x3 parallel to x0. So in that sense, you can see what is alpha 1 minus 1, that is alpha 0. Here there is no angle, that is 0 degree. What is alpha 2 minus 1, that you can see here. So z2 and z1 are actually like you can say 90 degree, and this is the rotation. So this is rotation. You can see alpha 1 is actually like pi by 2. And when you see z2 and z3, this is actually like the positive rotation, in the sense alpha 2 is 3 pi by 2. So similarly, you can see a0 is 0, a1 is 0, right? So then a2 also like 0. So whereas theta 1 is actually like variable, that is I call theta 1 as a variable, and theta 2 is actually like there is angle, because you can see in fact even theta 1 you can see x0 to x1, that is 90 degree, plus there is a variable called theta 1, so this is theta 1 plus pi by 2, and theta 2 is actually like you can see x2 and x1 are parallel with respect to z2, so that is 0, and theta 3 is actually like you can see about theta sorry, Z3, you can see that this is a rotation which is nothing but 3 pi by 2, right? So similarly you can see D1 is 0 and D2 is actually like D2 and D3 is actually like 0. So that and all, you can see this is what we are actually like getting as your what you call in the sense your DH parameters, right? So you can see with respect to this is what your rotation, this is alpha 2 which is 3 pi by 2, and you can see here with respect to this is what the rotation, this is pi by 2, and you can see here this is pi by 2, and there is a you can say positive rotation, that's why it is coming like this. And when you see here about you can say Z3, so you can see that this is rotated like this, so that's why it is 3 pi by 2. So like that you can actually like get the configuration to DH parameter. So now you can actually like move forward. This is the ARM matrix, and you substitute individual you can say variable into ARM matrix, and you will get T1 to 0 and T2 to 1 and T3 to 2 you will get, and finally you will get T3 which is with respect to 0. That you can actually like get it, and actually like you can actually like move forward, and then actually like you can see these are the individual matrix, and you will actually like get a final. So similarly you can take the ARM or you can say configuration 1, you multiply, that is what you call the you can say the forward kinematic model. So that is what we are doing, and we are taking, this is what your X and Y, and this is what your orientation, and in this case it's a planar, that to 2 degrees of freedom, so I am interested in X and Y. So in this configuration, if I rotate theta positive, so this comes, so that's why you can see that the X displacement is the minus case. So whenever you obtain this equation, or you can say this transformation matrix, you have to cross check by substituting the home position. So here home position is theta 1 is 0. So if you put theta 1 equal to 0, what happened to, you can say X would be 0 and Y would be D2, right? You can cross check. So your Y axis actually, like in this case it goes like this, this is what Y 0 axis, so that is right. And X, there is no displacement, that is X equal to 0, that is also right? So now when you see the orientational information, you can see that Z3 and Z1 is parallel. So you substitute 0, so you can see that is there. And X0 and X3 are parallel. You substitute this equal to 0. This is 1, 0. So this is also right. And you can see Y0 and Y3 are parallel. Then you can see that is also like coming. So in the sense, your solution is right. So we'll move forward for the second configuration. Second configuration also we substitute individual matrix, and we are actually like multiplying that. And here you can actually like see, so this is the kinematic model, and this is what your X and Y. If you substitute theta 1 equal to 0, what you can see in X, you have a D2 distance that is getting, and you have 0 Y and 0 Z that is happening. And when you see Z3 and Z0 are parallel, you substitute, that is 1, 0, 0. And this is also, you can see that your Y is actually like, I think Y is here. So this is Y3 and this is Y0. And these are also parallel. So you can see 0, 1, 0 and this is 1, 0, 0, 1. So in the sense, this kinematic model also right. So then what you can see, you can actually like extend that into a forward kinematic model. This configuration, you take this is the end effector point, straightforward, it is D2, you can say cos theta 1, and this is D2 sin theta 1. This is the forward kinematic model we obtained with the Danevitt-Attenborough, or we can just substitute the trigonometry relation and you got it. Now with this, you can see like you want theta 1 with known px and py. So what you will do, you can actually like see the tan inverse of this. So what you will get theta, right? So see theta 1 is actually like tan inverse of px divided by py, right? So similarly, you can see that the square root, you can say px squared plus py squared, what that is equivalent to? That is equivalent to d2 squared. So d2 I can get it. So in the sense, d2 will be plus or minus. In this case, since it is actually like a piston cylinder arrangement, so the d2 negative will not be coming. So this is the way we can actually like cross check, and this is what your inverse kinematic model, and with that you can see that the supplementary also done. So now you can understand how we have arranged the frame arrangement, how we fix it, and how we move forward, right? So with that, I'm actually like closing this supplement session, and if you have any question, you post it to me through email or WhatsApp, and then we will actually like discuss in the tutorial session. I hope you have a tutorial session in the afternoon. I have already posted some tutorial questions. I will be adding few more questions, and then we will actually discuss in the live class. With that, see you then. Bye bye.